What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Black Filmmakers Lounge. Just getting myself together, getting some things together. Gonna have somebody join us today. So you just chilling, letting you guys hop in. Good morning. Say what's up. Let me post these in the different pages. So we do this. There we go. Let me get you posted. How is everybody doing today? So, it's one of those beautiful, wonderful days here. We just doing it is what we do here at the Black Filmmakers Lounge. And I'm glad that if you're joining us, give us a shout out. Today, TK is on set. Well, I don't know. She could be popping in. I didn't hit her up because I knew she was going to be on set today. So we are hanging out with a special person today. They'll be joining us. Having a wonderful time. So, matter of fact, I think it's 10:02, so I can bring our guest on and talk to the guest. So let me go ahead and guess. Whoa, there he is. Hey, sir. Damn, let me give you. I can't do this without a good introduction to this guest. This guest has been flying from place to place, hunting people down, looking for them left and right. He might be hunting you down. It's worth the money. He gets paid for what he does and basically makes stuff happen. And I can say it like this.
If you think he's not coming for you, he is coming for you. That's why he's joining us today to let us know how important it is to not hide, but go ahead and pay them credits. So,
as we get this show going, it is wonderful to have this special guest, sir. I'm sure that many of our audience is frightened, scared, and just don't know what to do with themselves, and they don't know if you're hunting them. Do you mind telling them who you are? He said, I ain't gonna tell you nothing. What's up, Thomas? How you doing today, my brother?
I'm coming
so
for you.
You're coming?
Thomas, I'm coming for you.
Well, Thomas, you heard it here on the Black Filmmakers Lounge. Our special guest is coming for you.
Michael, who else is here on the lounge?
Well,
coming for all of them.
I don't see everybody in the lounge. Everybody ain't checking in yet quite yet. But
Thomas, I'm coming for you.
We definitely gonna have our guests and make this happen today. So let me go ahead.
Michael, start the show.
Start the show. Should I start the show? What's up, Jamal's on? And here we go. We gonna get this going.
Jamal, I'm coming for you. I'm really coming for you because you owe a lot of money. You owe a lot of credits.
Jamal says he's here for the smoke.
He's worth a lot of credits, Michael.
Jamal is for me. I hope I'm not worth too much. I'd rather be the hidden money.
Jamal's worth 1 million credits. I'm coming for you, Jamal.
Jamal, I'm gonna miss you, my brother.
Thomas
said, I'm sorry for whatever I did. Oh, Lord.
Thomas, you better be afraid. You better be very afraid. You're only worth 5,000 credits, though.
Oh, he's not up there yet. When he gets his price up, you go and come for him.
We could do this the easy way.
Jamal said Mel like 1 billion credits. Oh, so Jamal tell you he's worth the smoke. So let's do this. While I do the introduction of the show, y'all gonna get to know who our special guest is today. I don't know if you call him a guest. Welcome to the Black Filmmakers Lounge, Saturday morning in the industry Shoptalk. I'm your host, Michael Melvin, with my co-host, Duvall. Yeah, he's been joining us today. That's right, Lewis is in the room now. TK's on a slight vacation. We're gonna be out next weekend.
Chad? I'm in the building.
Yeah. So We're going to do this. We're going to have fun. Let me tell you, if you're watching the Black Filmmakers Lounge, I'm going to let you know what we are about. Jamal said, what's up, my brother? The Black Filmmakers Lounge goes a little something like this. The Black Filmmakers Lounge is independent filmmakers. It's where independent filmmakers, novelists, or professionals come together to gain insight and perspective through education, information, and networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black independent film community. And that's what we're about. So if you're hanging out with us, we love that you're hanging out with us. We're here for you. Let's do this. We're going to have fun today. Let's make this happen. Let's make some noise.
Let's go. Oh, yeah.
Yo. What up, brother?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am doing pretty good. I'm going to have to do this.
It's such a pleasure to be back in the room. You guys miss me? What's going on, Chad? You guys miss me? No, a little bit, just a little something. That's all right. I understand. How you guys doing? Oh, Michael, with your sound effects. That's all I got. This is all I got.
Oh, do not. There is no try.
That's all I got.
All right. So we're having fun, y'all. Morning, everybody. Morning, Anjanette. Morning, Jamal, Tone, my brother Thomas, everybody else who's watching and joining us. Good morning. Welcome to the Black Filmmakers Lounge. We're glad that you guys are here. And
yes, baby, I'm back. Hey, baby, how you doing? How you doing? I'm back, baby. Yes, yes, Lord Jesus.
Well, boy's been working and working. Got him working day and night.
Man.
So, you know, he's been chiming in on the show from different days, and he said,
"This is a business, and you ain't too far gone to see that yet."
Amen. You know what I'm saying? Amen. Been working hard. Making a little bit of money, but not a whole lot of money.
Oh man, it would have been an interesting show if Jamal was on, because it'd have been three guys with a board, and it would not know what to do.
Oh, it'd be pandemonium. Everybody's doing their own stuff and doing their own thing.
Oh yeah,
How I
man.
sound, sir? How I sound? Everybody.
There you
How's
go.
everybody doing today?
You're back in. I'm gonna bring
good?
you up just a little bit. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, how you guys doing, Chad? What's going on? Talk to us. What's good? How you guys doing? How's your weekend going?
So we're gonna be talking about what you've been watching. So if you've been watching something, post it up in the comments. Let us know what you've been watching this week.
I'm gonna be nibbling, Chad. Sorry, I'm hungry. Sorry.
Nah, you good, brother. So here's what we're going to do. Lewis, what have you been watching this week?
It's funny that you should ask that, sir. It's been a lot of things that I've been watching. I've been keeping up with current events.
Oh, really?
So what I have been watching, I have been fervently watching, and some people may not believe that it's actually a good series. Lock and Key on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I went through I burrowed off season 1. Got back on season 1 and then finished up season 2. And I was like, oh man, it's pretty interesting the way the lore is. And then I was sucked in and then went straight into season 3. You know, some seasons it's like you understand why they're doing continuation and then you understand why they're not either, or they plant a seed as to whether or not they're going to do a next season or not. Right. But it's interesting, the lore of it. If you don't know, it's on Netflix. It's about a group of family and they find these hidden keys with magical powers. And it's a very interesting show. It's very familiar faces that you've seen on there. I've been also watching She-Hulk. Prior to She-Hulk, a lot of Miss Marvel, a lot of the Marvel stuff. And just getting back into a lot of stupid stuff that's on Netflix. It's just like, why am I watching this? But I've watched it. Like I've seen Day Shift. Excuse me. I've seen
Day Shift.
Is it Day Shift? Yeah,
it's Day Shift.
I've seen Day Shift. I just it was like
you and I are on two different sides of the spectrum on that.
I know they're going to do a night shift if some things come to pass, but you know, it's Netflix. For me, it's Netflix. I tolerated it. I'm waiting for good shows. If you have not watched it, everybody go to Apple TV Plus and watch season 3 of C. I am not a paid advertiser. I wish I was. That and Severance. If you have not watched Severance, oh my God, where have you been? What are you doing with your life? I'm trying to convince Michael to get him and his wife to go and watch it because it is just that amazing. So if you've seen it, if you know what I'm talking about, Severance, all the Marvel stuff, Moon Knight, I've watched that. It's been a minute since I've been here, so I'm trying to catch up. Moon Knight, all the Marvel stuff, and now I'm locked into She-Hulk and seeing what that's about. But has started yesterday for season 3 with Jason Momoa.
Oh, that was
season
yesterday.
2.
So it did start. Okay.
Yeah, it started yesterday. Season 2 was with Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. I think this is Jason Momoa's best acting ever that I've ever seen him do in any portrayal since probably Game of Thrones. But if you like Game of Thrones, you'll love C if you haven't seen it already. Get that? You like that C if you haven't seen it already? And Rick and Morty. I think Rick and Morty is they're back with another season as well. So yeah, I mean, I can't take on too much at once. I don't know if you guys are like that. I just can't. Yeah, like, I had to, got to piece it together and chunk it together. So yeah, so She-Hulk and C, and waiting for Severance season 2. That's it so far. I have not seen the Mike Tyson series. I have not seen Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson's joint yet. For some reason
from Toronto.
Yeah, I have seen what's that one with it's not The Rock, but it's on Netflix. It's not Jamie Foxx's joint. Somebody in chat help me out. It's something that's just recently was released on Netflix. I think it's the other Kevin Hart movie or the other Kevin Hart show that he has on there. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that yet. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Meantime just dropped yesterday.
I haven't seen that yet.
Later today.
Haven't seen that yet. But that's it. That's what I'm currently watching. No really big movies. Nothing But Murderers in the Building is on my list.
Okay.
I've seen that from other shows. I haven't seen that yet, but that's on my list. But if you guys recommend something that you want me to see and check out, please let me know. Put it in the comments as I'm reading it, with Mike. Tell me what's something that I should be watching. And then, if you want, you can go over to my Facebook page and just check out, what I think and what I feel about some of these movies. Oh, Tyler Perry's new trailer.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that, baby. We'll talk about that.
All right. So real quick, what I've been watching. I am going to watch Me Time later today after we get these fans put in. I watched the Milestone Generations on HBO Max, which talks about Milestone Comics, Static Shock.
Okay.
Icon,
Yeah.
Hosted by
I saw the trailer.
Yeah,
saw the trailer
really
on I saw the trailer on Facebook.
Yeah, it's not long. It's about 55 minutes long, something like that. 54 minutes long.
Cool.
And so, but it gives you a lot of insight on the creation of Milestone and the creators, and then where Milestone's going, because you remember one of the creators died. The one that
the one that did Static Shock.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
And,
I forgot his name.
Then and it told you how they dealt with DC Comics, like how they ran into a problem over a Static Shock issue, actually.
What else is new with DC?
Yeah, and so it that helps me always when I see stuff like that, right? Or I see like Sam Cooke or stories about other people like Prince and all, and how the industry impacted them when you're using someone else's money. They can do whatever they want to you, and they can shut you down.
Yeah.
And then the key is our empowerment when we support each other. So like if you haven't seen the Milestone Generations, it's on HBO Max. Go check it out. It's definitely one to watch for insight and inspiration, right? Because they're coming. I know in the next few years they're coming with their own movies, cartoons, everything. And they're not even, I don't think they teamed up with DC anymore. They're with Ally Bank.
Yeah.
So they're kind of independent on their own, and which is good. To me, that's great. That's awesome. Because Reginald Hudlin's part of that. You got great writers and great artists a part of it. And I like the fact that they talk about legacy and bringing the next generation in to help develop and create, right? And that's what we should be doing as filmmakers always, to bring in the next generation. So that's where I'm at. Like I said, I'm gonna watch Me Time. I watched She-Hulk, enjoyed it. It's going somewhere. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see. We'll see
Yeah,
where it goes.
because it
A lot of
answered. I had a
speculation. Oh,
question last week that they answered this week. See, it just works out.
what was your
Uh,
question?
about Abomination in Shang-Chi. So when he's going, it is like, hey.
You know what's crazy is that, if you guys have not watched She-Hulk, it's interesting. It's the second episode was a filler, but it was still
Mhm.
it was a good filler. It's comedic, but there's a lot of
It's a setup.
speculation
It's a
about.
setup filler.
Yeah, it's a setup filler. It's not a
It
bad
set up a
show.
bunch of things in motion.
I enjoyed the first episode. It was great. The crazy part that Marvel did, if you're not, I mean, I could discuss this because it's not a spoiler,
Mhm.
with the old Ed Norton film, yet still bringing in the characters from the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk movie. Ross,
Mhm.
Abomination. The only thing is not
The
there. The
thing is,
person is not
Ross
there is
died. The guy that played
yeah,
Ross
yeah,
died,
yeah.
so they're
But
gonna
the
have
the
a
ca- but
replacement,
the
of
fact that
course.
those characters were still brought in, and with those characters brought in, they still are like separating Ed Norton from that entire universe. Like, I don't even think that he would be a variant
Right.
anymore. So it's just kind of crazy. There's no mention of Betty. So I'm kind of wondering like
Right.
where
Right.
she is. Because
Well,
if this character of Bruce, and well, I can't spoil it. If you see
yeah.
episode 2,
Where is
there's
Betty?
something that
Right. That is a
right.
question because we had he was with Black Widow.
Yeah,
So
where did
yeah.
Betty go?
What happened?
So if you
Yeah.
got all these other characters that's coming in over there,
What
so
happened to Betty?
what happened to Bets?
Yeah, that's kind of
Shout out to
interesting
Betty. You
because
can't.
Thor had his lady. What
Yeah,
they
but
doing over there? Wasn't it Pepper Potts? What they doing?
it's a funny show. Definitely go watch it if you haven't been watching it.
Yeah.
She-Hulk is I'm pleasantly surprised so far.
Yeah. Jacoby
What's
said,
good,
What's up,
Jacobes?
man?
Kobe in the building.
Jabari said,
My
What's
man.
up?
What's up, JB? Hargrove?
See,
What's
there you
good,
guys
man?
go.
So you guys should have been here early.
Totally tripping. What's up, man? Hey, I saw the camera, the layout. I was like, oh shucks. He got all the
What
zoom
layout?
lenses.
Oh,
For
Jacoby.
the C70, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, Jacoby,
that's my C70 buddy, man.
Jacoby, you sly dog, you getting all those good little parts and tiblets and giblets of good old goodness, camera goodness. Make me want to just burn my camera.
Yeah, we got to get
Anyway.
Jacoby back on here and talk about equipment and stuff, man. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that today.
Yeah.
Because Lewis and I have been talking. We talk at least once a week. But yeah. Now you think about
once
it,
or twice.
once a week. Yeah,
once or twice. Yeah, once or twice. Yeah.
So it was interesting because Lewis has been working on his own project, a fan film. And
correct.
My brother has stepped into the realm. And then see, Lewis and I, we always talked about special effects, visual effects, and how we can do the next thing, which is interesting because, when Lewis said, yeah, I'm getting a 3D printer. And he was like, oh, it's cheap, man, it's cheap. And I was like, okay, I got to see what you printing. And if you follow Lewis, you'll see the things he has been printing throughout this time with his 3D printer and putting it to good use as he prepares for his fan film. I'm going to let you take it from there, my brother. What fan film have you been
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So if you guys have started off the show, I am going to be creating a Star Wars.
Go ahead.
It's going to be a Star Wars fan film. It's going to be starring this guy. No, it is not the Mandalorian. It's going to be a different character. And the cool part about it is that when I started writing this idea, I started off with wanting to create my own body armor. And I did a lot of research and a lot of YouTube in depth and a lot of just searching throughout my busy weeks and days, with fam and work. And I found out that I started off with foam.
Mhm.
And as I started working with foam material, I found out that I am not the most skilled with a knife to be cutting and to be slicing and to be doing certain angling,
'Cause
because for certain types of foam to work for your favor, you still have to do patterns and
Mhm.
you have to do precision cuts. And if you're not as a skilled cutter, if you're like doing jagged lines or you're doing like a cut that's angled and it's not straight, even if you have like a ruler or something, for me, it was just like, I bought material and I'm like, it's just not working out. Did test stuff, did 2 to 3 weeks of test stuff. And it was like, you know what, I'm fed up, and I just threw all that stuff, to the wayside. And so a friend of mine was telling me about,
Yo, I'm sorry,
what,
Jacoby's the person. It's always Jacoby.
what did he say?
See,
What did he
that's
say?
what she said.
That's what she said. Stupid. So I was talking with a friend of mine and he said, why don't you do 3D prints? And I'm like, I know nothing of the world of 3D. He said, but you
Okay.
do know 3D programming. And I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah. So I wrestled with the idea and then I broke down and got an Ender 3 3D printer, which has been game changing because literally you can build and create virtually anything that your mind can think of,
Exactly.
from characters, from equipment, from weapons, from armor to, whatever that you want to create and build. You can do it. It's a process, but
Mhm.
you can do it. So I have with me two 3D printed detonators that's from the Mandalorian. It took about maybe like roughly like 2 hours to like print, an hour for each.
Okay.
But if you look at it, man, I don't know if you could zoom in here and look at the details of this bad boy. But
Let's
this is just something that was done. It's not sanded, it's not,
go ahead, put it in
primed or
front of the camera.
colored.
Let's see.
It's not sanded, it's not primed, it's not colored, it's nothing like that. It's just a straight raw print.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is that, I thought of this and
Mhm.
I was like, let me model it or let me try to find someone who already had modeled it and then just do variations of it. So
Right.
this is a variation of this particular component and it sits on the Mandalorian that I'm building. It sits on his side. So at the end of the day, I was able to print out something like this, and this is like a holder. So it sits on his belt, and it can just stick on there, and it's magnetized. So another YouTuber was suggesting something that you can do for something like this,
Mhm.
and he gave like ideas, and then once you go down the rabbit hole of YouTube, you start exploring and finding so much other things. So right now I'm building weapons and I'm building armor. I'm already built a weapon and some armor for my other character that's going to be in there. So it's quite an interesting process. I suggest if people want to explore the world of 3D, it is the most helpful I can say to that world. Is it's extremely helpful if you know somebody that knows 3D programming. If they know 3D programming, or if you
Mhm.
know 3D programming, my God, it's a game changer. Like,
Yeah, because I
it's
work at a tech
absolutely
school and they
awesome.
do engineering and 3D printing, and I was trained on CAD and other stuff when I taught high school.
And by the way, the cool part is that most of these programs that you have at your disposal are free.
Free. Yeah,
They're
free.
free, from certain 3D programs, from certain
I
I
know
think
because
all
there's a version of CAD that's free.
there's an yeah,
Um,
there's a program called AutoCAD that you
yeah.
can build your own stuff. There's another program that's very similar to AutoCAD. It's called Tinkercad, and it's just basic rudimentary shapes. You can create the shapes as to whatever you
And
want.
there's sites that give you stuff. What is it? Everything, something, everything. It's a 3D
Yeah,
site.
there's a website that's called Thingiverse.
Thingiverse. There we go.
Yeah, that's the most popular. But for most of the stuff, if you're a modeler, if you have like a 3D background and you can model your own stuff, or you know how to model manipulate, which is what I do. I do a lot of model manipulations. Like, I'll find whatever it is that I see and whatever it is that I want to change, I'll just go ahead and use a 3D program to manipulate it, whatever it is that I want to see fit. But most of the stuff that you have to your disposal are free. There's Blender. Blender is a free 3D program. Tinkercad is another 3D program. But I use Blender a little bit sparingly, but the main one that I go to is a program that's called Cinema 4D. And it's like virtually like one of the most premier 3D programmings because it's adjacent with another software through Adobe that allows you to, if you create like, I don't know, let's just say you create a spaceship and you bring that spaceship into, you know what I mean? You bring like
you and I were talking about that for one of my shorts.
Yeah. So if you wanted to build a spaceship or model a spaceship, or if you see a spaceship that's already out there and you want to manipulate it, you can bring it into Cinema 4D and it automatically talks to a compositing program called After Effects. And it's like whatever you do on the one hand, it'll talk to the other and it'll merge together seamlessly. It's supposed to be very streamlined. But I have the full pro version of Cinema 4D. So a lot of the stuff that I do, it's just right now for 3D printing is just model manipulation, remodeling or changing, resizing to fit whatever it is. Like right now, the gun that I built, or the weapons, I don't want to say gun because we get flagged. The weapon that I'm using or that I'm building for my other character, I have to re-augment that weapon again, just so that way it fits together, molds together, and it blends together. But it's a process, bro. I'll tell you, it is a process. It's amazing what you can build when it comes together correctly. It's amazing if because when you get the printer and you look at it, you're staring at it for like 3 hours. Like your first print, you're like, whoa. And I'm serious. Like once you get it, a friend of mine from work, he was like, hey man, I want to get into it. I'm like, dude, if you've got a 3D character and you want to build your own 3D miniatures, because he's got a character that he wants to put into mass production or just print it out. I turned him on. I said, go get an Ender 3 and start out there. It's a process. It's not, a 1, 2, 3. But once you get into it, once you start understanding the mechanics, understanding how it works,
understand filaments.
Understand what types of filaments, understanding the temperature, understanding the programs that you use. So that way, whatever it is that you're putting in from your 3D to make the code talk to the software of the printer, it depends on the type of software that you get for which is called a slicer. It's very important to it can get overwhelming. Trust me, it can get a lot of it can get a lot of just a lot of information thrown at you. But if you take it piece by piece and step by step, trial and error, fumbling, messing up, seeing your prints go, it was like, yeah, I looked at that print and it looked real
that's
good.
Your
and
boy,
then,
man, that's your boy.
What else? I can finally get my flex capacity so I can go back in time. Build this. There you go. But yeah, it's so cool that whatever it is that you can think of, whatever it is that you have in your head, and if you, even for random stuff, like my air conditioner knob broke off my AC. And I was like, instead of me going out and buying like a knob or whatever, I can just build it. I can print it. And, it's on my AC right now.
Drills and drumbles, but they're like cheap. Like the extra stuff you need is going to be cheap. And then once you have it, you got whatever. You know what? Okay, I'm just going to be straight up. Other groups of people have been using 3D printers for quite a while.
Quite some time. Yeah. It's just the crazy part, because now 3D printing is nothing new. It's new for me because I'm just starting to dive into it because for film aspects and film purposes of it. But I say that because as an independent, if you think about it, if you get about 2, because they're not expensive. Like there are some 3D printers that are super expensive. There's like these resin 3D printers that, you set them down for like a week, and then they come up and they have this elaborate designs, and it looks like something that, that was done by clay.
My brother's
you just shocked.
Just in case, John's my brother. Yes, he's a Melvin. He said 3D
printing can kill capitalism.
Oh, all this can kill. Listen, the technology, digital films, the way we are in filmmaking, the way we are with music now. One, we had the arts. We own arts. Okay, music comes from us. Films come from us. A lot of creativity we put out, but we're allowing other people to make money off of us. And that was one of the big things Lewis and I were even talking about last night. And I was actually talking to Kai Jackson yesterday. Shout out to Kai because he's been watching the show. He's a news anchor at Fox 45 in Baltimore. And
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about empowerment, ownership, because the things to create what we want and what we design, what we need for our films, for our various industries, it's at our fingertips now.
And the cool part is, if I can quickly interject, there's not a lot of us that are doing this.
Right.
It's not a lot of us.
And I work at a
there's
school.
there's some that are there's some that are being educated by it, but to see what you can really, really do, if you put certain things together and you're saying to yourself, I can build or create. I don't have to go to, XYZ company that's going to charge you $1 billion. Now that as the independent, you can do that stuff in-house. So,
Right.
it's just 3D printers, if that's what you choose to do. Some know-how and some some creativity, and you'd be surprised as to what you can build and what you can create. And it's just it's in-house. So no longer do you have to worry about, outsourcing, or you can get somebody who is, an independent, creator or independent printmaker that can do this and, keep it grassroots if need be.
Get them part of your team. Like build your team.
And put them part of your team. Exactly.
Yeah, build your special effects team, build your makeup team, build your writing team, build your production team, your investors, the people that you can collaborate with and build. We're always talking about that on here on the show. How it is very important to build a team, and that all the tools we need are cheaper now. Like before, this stuff in the industry, you're like, you need $100,000. You need $1 million. When we first were doing nonlinear editing, I remember when they you can get Avid, and you have to buy the Avid turnkey system for $100,000. Now all these things are like,
you can do it on your iPhone now. So
not even that, but here's the crazy thing: Avid is now you can get it, pay a monthly $25.99 or whatever, or $29.99 a month to use it, and then you can shut down your subscription and bring it back when you work on the next project. Same thing with Adobe. Everybody, with the exception of Apple, because Apple made their software extremely cheaper as time progressed, but everyone else is in the subscription game at this point of the game because they know they're just going to lose money trying to fight the battle. And the crazy thing is, and I try to tell everybody, I've been an educator for 23 years, doing films for a little around that time too. The thing is, education discounts. You got kids, you can get discounts on script writing software. You can get discount on editing software or the subscriptions. Now, if you can do the discount way on the subscriptions and stuff, they lock you in for a year. They're usually locked in for a year. But it's available to you. Everything, it's either free or cheap. So
also, if you're a civil servant, if you're a civil servant, yeah, you can get discounts as well. I just found out that I can get a discount. I was like, word, I'll do the discount, no problem.
Yeah,
so.
and we're trying to tell you this because as independent filmmakers, I know that people are always looking for ways to budgetly cut corners without sacrificing the quality of their work. And
correct.
That's very important because you don't want to cut corners so bad that the quality suffers, but you do want to have a good budget. I remember talking to a filmmaker. She said, yeah, all my films, I spend $6,000 every time I make a film. But then her value of the money she made wasn't increasing. So she was spending $6,000, she would make an average of 30 to 40. So I said, well, what if you spent $12,000? What difference would it make?
Very interesting.
Right? Because she was cutting some corners.
Right.
And she was like, oh, I didn't think about it. She's like, I'm afraid to do that. I said, well, that's what businesses do. They see how something works. They don't rock the boat too much, but they start investing a little bit more to improve the quality, right? And once you get to a nice spot, it's okay to, I can't tell you not to stay there if it works for you. Do what works for you. But any business is about growth. We're going to transition. Let's think about Tyler Perry, how he started with the plays, how he started with his films. They were all like $5 million films. They were all basic films. He wasn't spending too much money. This guy's a billionaire, and he has a Netflix deal. He has, deals with BET. He has programming on a lot of different places. And now we see with Netflix, his trailer for his new film. I sent it out to all my crew. I was like, what do y'all think? And we posted in the Black Filmmakers Lounge community. And to get people's opinion, it's a period piece.
As long as he's not directing, it looks pretty darn good.
I ain't going to say nothing.
Not directing.
I'm going to say.
As long as he's just doing producing, it's going to be good. As long as he stays in his producer lane. I'm looking at you. Looking at you guys.
I'm going to say this.
I'm curious as to who's directing it. Did you see who's directing it?
I
have not seen it. Yeah, I'm curious who directed that joint. If he directed it, it's going to be interesting.
It's called a Jazzman's Blues.
Looks really, really good.
And
looks really good.
It's a nice looking period piece. Like cinematography is nice. The quality of the story you feel the story. Okay.
You feel
is you know the story, but it's still the way the trailer brings it is like, I got to see how it plays out because it still doesn't give you the end. I mean, there's, me, I'm a train guy when it comes to movies. Movies are like watching a train. You know what? There was a there's a show or documentary called The Train Wreck. It's like watching things play out. And I said, that's what I'm trying to tell everybody. Human beings are voyeurs. They want to see things and how they play out. And if you've seen the trailer, it's a story about during the time period of Jim Crow and civil rights, or probably a little bit before civil rights. Probably about 1940s, 1950s.
Via IMDb, it says it follows an investigation into an unsolved murder, revealing a story full of forbidden love, deceit, and a secret. And so somebody gets murdered. So who's the person murdered?
Yeah, we didn't pick that up in the original in the first.
No, we didn't. And that's I think that's just the hook, line, and sinker. But he wrote this and he directed it. So
see, there you go. But I mean, the quality is there. I mean, you got a guy with a studio. What's up, Darrell? He has his own studio. He has his own production stuff. So that's again ownership. I'm all about buy your camera, buy your lights, buy your mics, buy your equipment, buy everything you need, so no one can ever tell you no. You can't make a movie without equipment. And you can't make a movie without actors unless you're doing cartoons. Because I remember there was a guy who did animation.
Even if you're doing cartoons, you still need actors.
He voiced all the characters.
Oh, well, he's
crazy.
The
actor. But you got to think about
Seth.
it.
Then he's a Seth. Then he's a Seth.
But you have, when no one can tell you no, that's the most powerful place you can be. But when you put your hands and your livelihood in other people's hands, where they have control over what you do, they control your money, they control your product. Because here's the thing, and I tell people all this time,
they control your life. They control everything that you do.
Listen, when you got investors, and investors are looking for a return on investment. And so I've been blessed to produce all my projects with my money. But
amen. Shout out to all the producers that's just doing that thing on their own, with their own money, with their own equipment, because they know what they're doing. Shout out to all of you guys out there that's doing it.
Because I learned early.
This is a business, and you ain't too far gone to see that yet.
Because I'm telling you.
Or do not. There is no try.
Just do it. There is no try.
Because at the end of the day, the truth is, and when you own all that stuff, no one can say, no, you can't make a movie. You can't do it. Why? Because it's so interesting when we're always looking for someone to green light our stuff. And then why do you need someone to say, yeah, you can make that. I'll give you the money for it. Well, if you got a little bit of money, you got the equipment, you know some actors, you go make it. You know friends who have locations that you can use or have connections. And that's the point of building your team. That's the point of networking and building relationships. And we're always saying that in the Black Filmmakers Lounge community, because we're tired of people just trying to promote when we're saying network.
Build a relationship. Build relationships, you guys. You know, for most of you that will be watching this in the foreseeable future, you know, time traveling, it is important to build relationships. You know, if you're on the lounge, just stop dropping it. You know how many times I get notifications on Facebook, somebody just drops something on there and they're not saying, yo man, come check out my trailer, yo man, come check out my poster, yo man, come check out my reel.
Not a
And it's
hi,
like,
not a hello. Hey,
it's
I'm
not,
such and such.
you know, Michael, can I just say this,
Go
please,
ahead,
sir?
man.
You know, 'cause I'm about to go to church. It's Saturday, but we're about to go to church. Okay. Can I talk to you guys for a second? Can I talk to you for a second? You know what I cannot stand? I cannot stand, it's a pet peeve of mine, when someone just walks up to you and just starts just starting a conversation and they didn't even say hello. Not even a simple hello. Hey man, how are you doing? How's your day? And I have to, interrupt them very abruptly. Yeah, how you doing? Hey, how's your day? How your mama doing? How your papa doing? How's everybody in your family? Is your cat okay?
Hey,
You know,
how your mama and them?
How your mama and them? How your papa and them? How your uncle? How Uncle Tixie and them? How, Uncle Pixie and them. You know what I'm saying? Not even a simple hello. You'd be surprised with a simple hello. How are you? How's your day going? You know, it's not about me. It's about relationship building. Why is it so, they just walk up to you and say, yeah, man, I just need, I want to sell this fan to you. I want to sell this fan for $15. And they didn't say hello. Or even if you want me to see something, at least say, hey, my name is, I represent blah, blah, blah. I saw the Black Filmmakers Lounge, or I saw blah, blah, blah do something, or I saw this, or I was referred, or was word of mouth, or I was scrolling, I was bored to tears, and I happened to see whatever. Just say hi to somebody else in there. So in the chat, if y'all don't know nobody, say hi to everybody. Hey, thank you, John Melvin. Hello, my friends. Hello, my beautiful friends.
Man,
yes,
thank you for joining us today, bro.
Indie face, but it's such a, and Mike and I, we've talked about this. It's so dire. If you want to build community, relationship building, it's us talking to you guys, but it's also you guys talking to us. We're still human at the end of the day. I don't know anybody out there that bleeds green unless you are an alien, or bleeds purple unless you're an alien.
Right.
And unless you have some type of weird, wicked skin that you can pull over and you can start talking as a language. Yo,
really?
say
Men in Black.
hello.
This is what you gonna do today?
I've been watching Men in Black just to go back to the good old days, when movies were interesting and fun and goofy. But still, we're humans. So, that's my pet peeve. Okay, anyway. Indie face. Yes, Indie face.
We need to
I like this game.
Reiterate that every time, because when you stop and think about it for a minute, why hasn't the Black independent film gotten as far as it could get? And why does it not have the support? Why am I in Black film groups watching people get mad because a British actor plays an American character?
Why?
Let me say this. A Black British actor plays an American character in a film, and they're just taking our jobs. And I'm like, that's stupid mentality. Listen, they're talking about the new film with my boy.
Oh, is it go ahead.
It's popping in my head with but Michael K. Williams is in it. He was Black. He's from America.
No, so you heard about House of the Dragon or House of Dragon?
Yeah, I saw those issues. I saw that pop up.
I'm like, what?
That came from Black people. That's the crazy part. What? That was coming from our people having a problem with a Black man being in House of Dragons. And I'm like, wait, hold on a second. You got a problem with Black people being in the fantasy world? Y'all the same people be mad if a Black person's a Jedi. What's wrong with y'all? Like, come on, man.
Gosh. So the people were in uproar when they found out that there was a melatonin-skinned mermaid. I'm like, dude, there's no such thing as a white mermaid. There's no such thing as a mermaid. Who cares what color it is? It could be green. There's no such thing. There's no such creature.
They were mad. You know what? I saw people mad when the Black Panther trailer came out, and they're not only mad about not replacing the Black Panther, but they were like, wait, Atlantis, they're
Yeah, they're
Mayans and stuff,
Mayans.
Aztec. Wait a second, how's that? And it's like,
This is
first
comics.
of all, it's fantasy world. They're comic books, and the hard part for me is most people who argue these things don't even read comic books half the time, or 75%
So
of the
hard.
time.
It's so disheartening. It burns my blood. It makes me boil when I see these comments and read. I just ignore them. I get tired of it because it's like speaking to a rock.
But that's what's holding us back. You know, it's crazy because my brother said it earlier. Nollywood has increased their quality of work. If you go on Netflix right now, there are
Watch
Nollywood
RRR.
TV shows, movies, series, everything. Go to Netflix. Just look. I'm serious. And their quality is up there. And people were joking Nollywood films back in the day. Oh, they're bad qualities. But they had the support of the community.
Brandon, listen. You know what's crazy? James Franco looks exactly like Fidel Castro, though. He looks just like him. It's if you put a brim over his head, over his eyes, it's a spitting image. But anyway, yeah,
right.
I mean,
but they could have got somebody else. Here's the thing, but see here, when we're empowered, we don't run the issue of having that issue because we make our own films and we are supporting our stuff. And when people go, look at what's on Tubi, look at this bad stuff. It's on Tubi though.
It's on
if you're a
Tubi.
filmmaker and you don't have nothing anywhere.
Nothing. Right, Tubi is your
Why
mecca.
are you talking about somebody else's work? You need to be like in the room saying, how do I get there? How do I do that? You got here. What do I need to do to get there? See, that's the mistake. People want to be critics and criticize because they don't have enough time. They have too much time, not enough time. They have too much time on their hand because if they're working on projects, they ain't worried about it. I rarely hear filmmakers that I know talking too much, unless we're talking amongst ourselves, because we know that how you feel about something is subjective. You know, you and I see day shift differently.
Unless it's Fall from Grace. I mean, come on.
It had a good story, had a good plot. I did not expect Claire Huxtable to be that ruthless, but I did not. Felicia Rashad, like, yo. I did not expect her to be ruthless.
Fantastic.
I didn't even think she would play that type of character. And I was like, yo, hold on.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second.
I think that was the only thing from that movie that was pretty good, is the fact that Claire Huxtable was a villain. Can you imagine that? You walk home and you find out that Claire Huxtable is a villain? She's like, hello, baby. Would you like some porridge? And she doesn't cook porridge. No?
I'm telling you.
I'm sorry.
So, like, there's good and bad in everything. I've never seen a perfect film. I just never have. Even in Star Wars that we all like, at the end of the movie when Luke comes back from blowing up the Death Star, she's like, Luke, Carrie.
That's funny. That is hilarious. What do you guys think out there? I mean, you know, what is your take on how you guys feel?
Some people don't see their place anywhere in the past or future outside of what's been told to them, because who taught you who you were?
And Brandon says something really good. I love the great British actors like Jaimin and Snowfall. From Snowfall. Desmond, right, from Snowfall. And Indris. And you know what's crazy about it? I had no idea. It's like when you hear that these guys are British, it's like, what? I didn't know you were Brits. But it just goes to show, I don't really care where you're from. I care what you bring, what you've worked hard for. Acting is hard. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. Acting is difficult. If you don't know what you're doing, techniques, it's technique and talent meshed together is rare when you have someone that understands it. It's difficult. Try and act on something that you've never done before. And after a while, you understand where your lane is.
Go to a party with people you don't know and convince them they know you because you're Uncle Pete or Aunt Peggy. I'm telling you, if you can do that, you should be.
And use a different voice. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm your sister's cousin, from the other side of the room. I used to come to all your birthdays. I was always in the back of the room drinking some night train and some
Right?
Mad Dog.
Try that. I did that. You know what? It was hilarious. I can hear feedback. I did like my last day on this one job. I was doing like customer service for whatever, and my last day, because I knew I wasn't gonna work there no more. I was like, I don't care. So there was one person called in, and he was like one of these irate customers, and like, I have $40 charged on my account. What are you going to do about it? And I said, excuse me, sir. You're going to have to repeat that one more time. What is your account number? And immediately he was like 4, 2, 3. I'm sorry, sir. You're gonna have to repeat that just one more time. And I didn't know that I was sounding like Uncle Ruckus.
I was about to say, you sound like Samuel Jackson off of Django for a second.
But when I knew that had that power to change and manipulate, and I was like, this is fun. You become like, it's the difficulties now become, all right, now how do I sharpen the skill set? So,
right.
I don't care where you're from, iron sharpens iron. So if you're an iron actor, and you're sharpening your skills with another actor that's just as good or greater, it's a difficult task. It's a difficult job. Give us slack to the actors. Let them be great. Michael, let the person who plays a villain, let them play a villain. We talked about that beforehand.
You rolling like that now? No. Okay,
let that man be great. If he's a good villain, let him be a good villain.
If you had a chance to see I Am, our web series that we did a few years back, we have a guy who plays LC. And
it's an amazing actor.
He's been in a couple other projects I've done, and he's amazing.
Shout out to that guy.
But he always wants to play the bad guy in my projects.
And he does a really great job.
And I was trying to get him to play positive characters because I don't want him typecasted, because I think he's an excellent actor. I see him like an Idris Elba can play villains and good guys and everything. He can be everybody. That's how I want people to be, because then I don't want him to never have to worry about not getting a call. Like, people should see him as a good guy, bad guy. They don't know what kind of guy, that twist on it. He could be a Han Solo character who you don't know if he's good or bad or which way he's going to go.
Oh, he's bad. Just look at him. You kind of know, it's bad because you kind of know those actors that have played villains in the past. You kind of like know if they did this positive spin, like, yes, I'm good. And you kind of know, like, in the, as they walk away, they do one of these numbers, like, you kind of know that they're like, oh yeah, I knew you. I knew all the time you was a bad guy. But anyway,
I don't know how many y'all are 80s kids, 70s, 80s kids. But the villain in a Charles Bronson movie was a villain in a Clint Eastwood movie, and was a villain in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and was a villain in a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. And all the same guys,
the same guy. and it's always like the same dude that they would cast. That would be like the guy that's like the martial artist. It's always that same one martial artist guy that's like you could see throughout the legacy of all action films. Let that man be great. If he wants to play that guy, hey, he's feeding his kids.
I remember I was watching the TV show Buck Rogers. I did watch some of that this week because Buck is a pimp. I just want y'all to understand. If you go watch the 80s Buck Rogers, the 70s, 80s Buck Rogers with Twinkie and them, Buck is a pimp. The coolest guy on the show was Hawk. Okay. And anytime there's a person named Hawk on the show, they mess it up. They mess the character up because he's the toughest character on the show. But they can't give him a show by himself because Hawks are hard, man. And they need the other guy. They need Buck to be there. I don't need Buck to be there. Or what was it? Spencer for Hire. Hawk, But the funny thing is, there's a guy, blonde hair guy. He was a villain in Buck Rogers. He was a villain in Chuck Norris movie. He was a villain. I was like,
let that villain be great. Can we all say that in the chat? Let that man be great as a villain. Go ahead. Thank you, Brandon, for that. Thank you, Brandon, for that shout out.
That man is a villain.
I don't need sound effects to sound like a villain. I can just look into the eyes of all you guys out there, and I can just say,
Avery Brooks
"Hey,
was a man as Hawk,
be
and
great."
then Buck Rogers, the guy that was Hawk, and Buck Rogers, those are the coolest. They should have a TV show together. Hawk and Hawk. The
Hawk
outer
and
space
Hawk.
Hawk and
Hawk and Hawk. But yeah, tell, what do you guys think? Drop something in the comments. Tell us what your thought process on this. Share anything, any questions that you guys need to ask. I'm really happy to be here, Michael. It's been a long time. It's been so long. It's been months. Brother Noomsy, yes, it's so long to be here. No, I'm curious, Michael. So let me ask you, if I may ask.
What's up?
What is it that you're doing? What are you working on right now? So you're asking me what I'm working on.
I've been chilling working on scripts. Like I've been writing films so I can get the films out when it's time. Because I know people are looking at me like, man, but you should be filming even though it's COVID. You can do it. And I'm like, I don't want to pay all that insurance. But I get it. I mean, I have my cautions, and sometimes you do have to throw caution to the wind. But
just let one person film all the way over there, and let's let that other person just film all the way over there.
You know what?
You're good. You got distance.
So if you watch any of the movies and TV shows that were filmed during COVID, watch the distance and the change of camera lenses and how close or far characters are.
Right.
Because it's so interesting, because you're starting to like, dag, they're like this, but they're using a different lens to bring them closer. And cinematography, you understand it.
Right.
But it's so interesting to see it, because, and then you don't see them shaking hands, or you don't see people hug, or certain people hug. And they had to be on set, and they got all those scenes out because they weren't going to do it again. And it's so interesting. But I think that's why action films were much more prevalent during COVID than dramas. And dramas, you had to keep space around. So you really had to do some blocking to create the environment. Because when I watch some shows, I'm like, they were shooting during COVID, because you can literally tell how far people are standing in the room. And before, if you go watch the old shows, they weren't even that far apart.
Right.
You watch Flash, everybody on the other side of the desk.
Just wear a mask. Everybody can act through a mask. Just right. Or make them all Mandalorians. Just put this is the greatest mask ever. Just put this bad boy on, and everybody's good.
That's not the greatest mask ever.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
I got the greatest mask.
Scott, he showed me the mask that's the better mask yesterday. So
he knows.
No, it's I'm making this guy. That guy.
He made that one. I'll give him his props. He made that mask. So I have to give a man who makes his mask his props.
But listen, no, I think that it's game changing, whatever you're doing. It's game changing to put something in that you've had as an idea, and you have the opportunity to make into fruition. Just bring it to life. It's super cool. Diversify yourself. Don't just stay stagnant in doing just one thing. Diversify yourself. Michael and I, we talked to this like way early when we did the Black Filmmakers Lounge. Talked about this way. Don't just be settled just by doing one thing. Learn about all the other aspects, because be rest assured, all actors don't just sit there and just be actors. They are dabbling in all sorts of different aspects of the business. A lot of them.
Remember Tasha Smith, who for a long time did acting classes, has been directing, and anything she's been directing.
And you'd be surprised, man. Like, your calling is just not in your one-dimensional zone. Your calling could be in so many different and multifacets. And just, whatever you learn, whatever that you've attained, and whatever you've acquired from people that were instilling that into you, seed that out. What I don't want people to do, I don't want people to, abuse, manipulate, or to give falseness of what they do. Never be false about what you do. Stay true to your zone. And relationship building it is such an important. It's like, as an actor, I'm first and foremost an actor. As an actor, I never want to have any bad or ill wills towards production or towards fellow actors, just because you never know who may know who. You never know who they may know. And, one false move or one false slip up and you say something that could be negative, they will travel that word because they're watching you, especially if you're a new face. They're watching you faster and harder as much as you think you're watching them. So it behooves you just to be a humbling person, be a kind person, be you. If you're not that and you're faking the funk, then you are really acting, my friend. I'm telling you, are really acting. If
and
you
it
are
doesn't matter if
BSing
it's
your
an
life,
actor. I mean, directors,
I'm
producers.
I'm first and foremost.
Yeah, you're an actor in the beginning.
Be is a conglomerate. Be someone that you would want to be around. Right. Are you cool? Be the person that you would want to be around in the room. If there were 10 people in the room and they're all you, would you want that could you be cool with that? I don't know. I don't know. Jacoby walk into a room and he see a whole bunch of short people in there. I'm just teasing you, Jacoby.
There you go, Brandon.
Strong knowledge drop there, Lewis. Hey man,
Brandon
it's
deals
just
with a lot of actors.
you gotta, as Brandon would know, it's not about, it's so much more dynamic because you want to be remembered. You want to have somebody to say, yeah, I work with Brandon. He's a really cool cat. Let's bring him on because, I want positive energy around me and I don't want to be that negative Nancy. I don't want to ever yuck on someone's yum. You want to do whatever you want to do. I'm not yucking on your yum. As long as it is not fall from grace. I'm serious, y'all. Fall from grace is
leave
so
Tyler alone,
oh
man.
my God. I cannot wait until listen. I just
alone.
pray that this Tyler Perry show or this Tyler Perry Netflix joint is good. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway. There's 1,000 things that I've been missing to share with you guys. It's been so long. It's been so long. I know I've been working hard and dealing with family. It's I'm in voice acting. Can you hear?
You know what? There's a gentleman that has a animated cartoon, and one of the characters sounded like you. And I was like, I know Lewis is doing voiceovers. You know who he is because we're all cool with him too. I mean, we all follow his stuff.
What does he do?
That's Why I'm Single. That's the cartoon.
Oh yeah. John. I did some work.
Is that Lewis?
I did some work with him, but not in that capacity. I did another joint.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, yeah. See, and we should bring him on the show.
He does.
He's putting out some animation, y'all.
Some really interesting, like from animation to stop motion to it's quite a. He's got a pot. He has a podcast. He's got a pot of stuff that he keeps brewing. It's that cauldron. But anyway, what is there? Ain't nothing worse than finding out you have a racist bully actor on set and you have to fire them. Ooh. Guess who did? Oh man, ain't nothing worse. Ain't nothing worse. Shout out for firing him. And did you do this? Is the question though? How did you fire him? Did you say, we're not picking up your options here. We're not thinking in the same direction. We're doing an outreach type of thing. We're doing something in a different way. We're not pulling in with your pulling out, guy. Anyway. So I don't know how you fired him, but it's difficult. Wow. How do you?
Yeah, firing is difficult. But once you do it, you set the tone.
How do you fire your cast? How do you do it? Do you do it the Tom Cruise way? The Tom Cruise
cusses them all out.
Say what?
When he cussed them all out.
He cussed them everybody out. Yeah. Did you go full Tom Cruise? Feeding your family. It's the future. Sick of this. Hey. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that if you have not heard the Tom Cruise scream out, don't you ever do it again, man.
YouTube, but you can definitely find it.
You can see the mom and dad pop out of him, like you're in church and you're doing something wrong, and they give you that evil eye, and you're doing something, and then you want to do this.
You know what's funny? My mom will pinch you. We used to sit in church.
Oh, if she's next to you, yeah, it's a different story. But if you three persons down,
she tell somebody to get you.
Right. Or you should tell the other person, you're like, hey, pluck the heck out of him. You ever get plucked at church? You just get plucked, and it's it's the worst thing.
So it's
the worst
but
thing.
think about this. So
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Nah,
I know.
good,
it's been a minute. Come on. We gotta bring whatever that we have missed in so long. So long. Got to. Sorry, Michael. I apologize. Sorry. I don't know when else I'll be able to have a chance to do it, but I'll do it again. I will. Sorry. I'm happy.
He's off of work this weekend, y'all.
I missed you guys. I'm so happy.
You're like, man, it'll be another 6 months.
I saw a filmmaker destroy his career trash talking on social media about a famous filmmaker work. And then they went into the meeting in LA, and the producer was the filmmaker they were trash talking online. You don't do that. Yeah, you don't do that. Unless you're a film pundit. And even if you're a film pundit,
because I know some people, like, they don't bring the critics back, or they don't invite them to see the movies or any of the stuff. They don't invite them to things because they drag them through the mud. It's okay. Like, I keep trying to tell people, your opinion is, you have every right to have an opinion. It's absolutely your right.
If you didn't like that movie, you didn't like that movie.
Yeah, but you don't have to go deep in detail and drag people, and because listen. I think some people will do people the great setup. You can get out there, trash talk a lot of people, and then they go, okay, we'll give you a movie. And then when that movie come trash, they're going to tear you apart.
Yeah, I know.
I'm waiting for it to happen.
A friend of mine, he was like, hey, Lou,
Louis, you know what I'm talking about, too.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he said to me, he was like, hey, Lou, just watch. I love your reviews, but just watch. You never know who's watching, man. You never know. You can hear, like, you can almost hear him say if he was right in front of you. He's like, you just never know who you're watching, man. Never know who's watching you, man. So, yeah. So watch that trash you talk on social media, cousin. You never know who's listening.
Listen, it's okay to be quiet.
Brandon Brooks.
It's okay to be quiet. It's okay. Every thought you have, everybody doesn't have to know. Wisdom is better. You can say a lot of stuff in silence. But here's the thing, when you're thinking about your career, and this is why empowerment's very important, because if you're not the producer, you're not the director, you're not the top person. I'll tell you guys, I had to let someone know that everybody's expendable.
Absolutely.
That's the reality. It doesn't matter if they're the director, doesn't matter if they're the camera person, whatever. But this person treated a production as if they were the guy. Like, we need them. And I said, you're not necessary. You're replaceable as an actor. If you think they need you, you need to go back and watch every TV show that had a character they replaced in one of the seasons, or didn't even just bring back. I'll give you one. Family Matters. There was a little girl. No one ever asked what happened to her until way later. What happened, Louis? Your audio?
Yeah, whatever happened to the little girl?
Exactly. They ran numbers, and her character just didn't have anything. Wasn't the presence, so they pulled her out the show.
Wow.
And they pushed the Urkel character more.
They pushed Urkel, right?
Yeah.
They pushed Urkel, but that little girl's character, she just came away. She just grew up. He's like, where is she?
Yeah, and everybody's replaceable. Everybody. It doesn't matter if you're not the person putting the money up. Everybody's replaceable. And even a production will find another producer to put some money in too. You just got to know your business. But yeah, like Brandon said, too many people talk trash. Tyler, M, Ridley Scott, etc. If they're in the film biz, they never know if they may end up in the room with them needing their help. See that right there. You don't know who you're going to be sitting in the room with. This is why I don't talk about anybody. It's wrong thing. I never treat people, but I tell everybody, anybody and everybody's replaceable. And once you understand that, then that should shape how you treat and deal with people. Because if you know you can be replaced like anybody else, you're not more important. If you think you're more important than the production, you already messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And never tell a man who runs their production they messed up because it's their thing. They own it. People mad right now. DC, what they do? Batgirl is gone. Something else is gone. Something else is gone. They're restructuring.
Yeah.
Now, their point of restructuring, it's a business move for them. And they're comfortable. They're comfortable losing that accounting. I spent $90 million on a film. They got more than $90 million. They're not worried about $90 million to them is like $9 to us.
They are doing what's called I've never heard of this before, but this is it's something it's interesting phrasing or interesting titling. It's called a funeral screening for Batgirl. So I think it there is a final cut of it. It's done. I don't know to the scale if it's like at a 99 or 100, but I know that it's enough where they could see. I just would have been interested just to see how Michael Keaton's character looked. That's all I really was interested in.
Yeah, Brandon, I knew that part. I just didn't want to mention that, what happened on that. I didn't want to go that far. So I did not know. Here's my brother. My brother says you should be able to provide a respectful critique. That's what we're talking about.
True.
Respect is
very true.
You never crap on somebody's work. Listen, an artist is an artist, and how you feel about somebody's work is really subjective. It's your perspective. Like Lewis and I, we both talk about Day Shift. We were talking about yesterday. I liked it. I sat back. I enjoyed it. I wasn't looking for anything big about it. His opinion, totally different.
Yeah, I tolerated it.
So everybody's different.
It's Netflix.
Jamal, I'll give you another clear example. The Blair Witch Project was not my movie, but Jamal swears by it. He loved it. Hey, I walked.
I'm with you, Mike. I was like, okay, this is paranormal activity. I was like, okay.
Now, Paranormal Activity, I thought was very creative for $15,000 and editing on Sony Vegas. I was impressed.
Do you know what?
And that it had such a long standing, kept going. They were smart.
What's the movie with Michael B. Jordan and the guy that played they were
superheroes.
Harry Osborn in Spider-Man with
Yeah, they were all superheroes. They got superpowers.
They were all superheroes. I forgot I forgot what it was called.
Because
like Michael B. flew and all this other
something
stuff.
like that, or
it's gonna come on, Chad. Help us out. You guys are filmmakers.
Jamal, you should know because you told me about it too. You was talking to me. Y'all should know this. The movie Michael B. Jordan became a superhero in, not Black Panther.
Not Black Panther.
Before that, Chronicle. There we go. Chronicle. There we go. Thank you.
Chronicle.
I knew somebody knew. Brandon knew it. There we go.
So the crazy part is,
tell him what he won.
So here's tell him what he won. Well, sir, he has won. A good applause. There you go. Thank you so much. I was amazed by how Chronicle used the same idea as a Paranormal Activity, as a Blair Witch. Having
that created
fourth
a whole
wall,
new
like
filming style. Yeah,
right. It's
Blair
like
Witch was
using
good
the camera,
creating a new filming style.
Right. Their film, the filmmaker's choice was let the superheroes superpowers allows the camera to be levitated because they all have mental telepathy powers or whatever. I thought that was pretty clever. I would have been cool to see a Chronicles 2, but there's a crazy story about the Chronicle movie and the demise of it and why it never got reinvigorated as towards a second.
Because they left it with a cliffhanger.
Film. Yeah, and it left you on a cliffhanger, and it's like it'll never see the light of day. But I mean, it would be amazing to see. It was cool. It was cool for that perspective for that type of film. I don't think it could be done again. Well, though, there's Hardcore Harry. That was pretty interesting.
That was interesting, but see, that's first person shooter. That's like a video game. That's like watching because remember they did Doom with The Rock, and they played with that part like the video game towards the end.
Yeah.
And little pieces. And they did the same thing with Resident Evil a couple times.
Which one?
The first one and stuff. They still
the good one. Yes, the good one. They're the good one.
They got a Resident Evil series on Netflix. With black characters.
Yeah. Yes. Jesus.
So
praise God for that.
This is why it's so important that we have these conversations because when you again ownership, intellectual property, when you got that, and this is why I think Tubi is a great source. This is why I think all these other sites popping up. I mean, and listen, I don't back every platform. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I'm a business perspective. My business perspective is when you come through my door and I made a film, don't try to charge me to play my work. The only place that gets away with that is movie theaters. But here's why movie theaters can get away with that. You're renting the room. You're selling tickets. You're just renting the space. That's space rental. I'm not renting space on your platform, and then am I able to sell tickets and make most of the money from that? See, that's the conversation, because I noticed a lot of these platforms are popping up. Everybody's doing an independent black platform. But as a creator of content, I want to check. I'm not worried about how many people watched it. If I need to get numbers, then I'll play it myself and sell tickets. That's business.
And Mike, we talked about this, about the streamlining and how movies nowadays because of these platforms, like what is the streamline now?
It's 14 days, 14 to 30 days.
Here's
what it is. 14 days, it'll be in a movie theater, or it'll either be in a movie theater or be both. What'll happen if it's both? If it's both, you're looking at paying $29.99, $30 plus to watch it, not to buy it.
No,
to watch it,
to rent it, right?
Yeah,
because right now, and I was looking at this. So the 14 days, depending on if it's the studio, because some studios they'll either let it run longer, but it depends on the studios. But the least amount of it is 14. Then they'll put it on. Then they'll put it on Apple Plus. Then they'll put it on Apple Plus.
They'll make it available on some type of streaming service like Apple,
or something like an Apple, like a Hulu, and it's $29.99 or $19.99.
So Disney does the opposite. So here's what'll happen: if you subscribe to Disney Plus, like Thor is about to come on, you'll be able to watch Thor. You won't be able to buy it.
No, you'll be able to see it,
but you can rent it from Apple.
From a different.
You're not a subscriber of Disney Plus, but you'll pay the $29.99 to rent it.
Sony is the only exception to the rule, because Sony will just drop it either on Hulu or drop it on an Apple, because of course they don't have their own streamline service. But so we as independents, we have to think about that as well. Do we do the theatrical release, let it run for a month or two or whatever, or for 45 days or whatever, and then drop it on a streaming service, so that way you can either charge, either, because we're independent, so we have to understand the scaling idea and the scaling aspects of pricing.
Like how's four-walling going to work for you and not cost you?
Right.
And that's so, as independents, here's our first mistake, and this is just me, and I gotta say me because I don't put it on anybody. Advertising, promoting, marketing is a key component that we often overlook. This is why so many people are on everybody's platform, everybody's Facebook page, trying to advertise their film.
Because it's free.
Because it's free, and they don't understand how to get actual eyes on their product.
Right.
Because if you understand your product, then you understand how to market and who to market to.
Right. And it isn't to places like the Black Filmmakers Lounge,
where everybody's trying to market.
Well, no. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. It's not for places like the Black Filmmakers Lounge if you don't know anybody and you just drop it and then say, hey, don't even say who the heck you are. You just dump it's unless if it's a dump, then it's like, what is this? I don't necessarily believe in dumping. Dumping is not a good industry. Dumping is not a good thing to do.
Marketing and promoting.
Right. If you're dumping stuff and you don't know why I would not drop my Fear series that I'm doing. I would not drop my Fear series into a specific group that is idealistically like that are Mormons. I wouldn't do that.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Why would I drop that in there? Just dump it into a Facebook group because it's on Facebook and it's, and it's free. Just dump it out there. You're not understanding how that works. So it's you know, and it actually hurts you more than it is helping you if you just do your dumping thing. So, but people do it because, you know, they don't care. It's like, man, if I get an eyeball and somebody at that 1,000 gonna see it, that's what they're gonna do.
They're thinking of a fisherman mentality, but being in the wrong place. You're trying to cast a fisherman's net in a pond. Doesn't work
Very
that
good,
way.
sir. Very good,
What
sir.
are you trying to catch?
That's a good, right.
What
Seaweed.
You
Exactly what you're gonna catch. You're gonna catch seaweed, some empty beer cans and stuff. That's what you're gonna pick up. You're like, man, I cast my net in here. I thought I was gonna get a whole bunch of fish.
So
you got
here you go. Thomas brought it again. Here we go. Most people don't take the time to understand who their target market is. Listen, you maximize your earning potential when you know your market. You build your fan base. My brother's saying that too. They're not in a building of fan base. They're not. They're coming to other filmmakers, hoping other filmmakers will watch their stuff. And that is
right.
I'm not advertising my stuff to filmmakers. I don't. Listen,
it's a Hail Mary approach, to be honest. It's just it's like you're doing this, you know, you're just throwing it at it.
It's a shotgun approach.
Yeah,
because the thing is, and this is why I say why you need to look at picking platforms, why you need to look at who's in charge of the platform, what you're showing the stuff on. Why does a Tubi work? Well, here's why Tubi works. You get a Tubi deal, you're going to, from what my brother, Derek, and then some other people have told me, you get paid quarterly.
Okay?
Right. So it's based on numbers. You get people to go watch your content. Well, if you know the theme of your content, if I have a story about a black family's triumph of buying a home and what they've dealt with redlining. Think of Chicago. Think of all the places that dealt with issues with us owning property and land, right? I'm definitely looking at getting sponsorships and supports of black realtors, people who are interested in buying homes. I might even look at Redfin or Zillow. What is it? Zello or whatever, right?
Yeah,
I look at Zillow. Yeah, I'll look at all these things. Why would I look at those things? Because it's about buying houses. And that's where people are looking to buy homes, especially people in the market are looking. There are groups on Facebook about buying and paying off your house. That's the group you go join. That's the group you go sit and talk to, because that's what your story's about. And you're going to track them because when they're in the mindset of buying a home, they want to know these things. There's some people who don't even know what redlining is and how it impacts them.
Mm-hmm.
And so
find yourself a Facebook group that says, George, dude, the shotgun and the dumping is allowed. Go ahead, go for broke. Yeah. And then then all is a stage at that point, because you put it where people maybe or maybe not going to watch your stuff. But to put it on stuff that, like I said, why would I dump my horror on Mormons Facebook group?
Right, you got it.
If it's a film about dogs attacking humans or humans attacking dogs, why would I put that on a Facebook group that is, for animal rights?
But here's the other thing. Why even put it on the Facebook group? Why not join the Facebook group, get into the conversation, talk to the people, find out where people are, let them know who you are.
Right.
And because if you're a dog lover, you got a movie about the relationship of this African-American soldier who came back from Iraq or somewhere, and they have a dog that helps them and guides them through life, and they got to get to know the dog. Why aren't we making? Well, it is expensive to hire an animal trainer to work with pets or animals on a film, but it is because you have to have insurance for that too. But on top of that, but it's still a good story to have, because do we have a story like that? Absolutely have not seen one. Think about that. Do we? But I can tell you like this. I remember Tatum Channing last year has a dog film, taking a soldier's dog, traveling the countryside with the dog. The dog doesn't like anybody, but the dog falls in love with him. And he's taking a dog to be with someone else. Know your audience. Be strategic. That's one of the things we talk about in the show. Be strategic, intentional, and authentic. That's what's going to help you.
Yeah. Pay your bills.
Pay your fare.
Pay your fare.
I'm sorry. Had to add some
But
comedy.
no,
up
but
in there.
that's
But yes, absolutely. Be
that's what it
intentional.
comes down to. So, like, when you're looking at platforms, this is why Tubi works, because you do get residual, constant paid. And then now, while you're getting paid, guess what you focus on? Go watch my film on Tubi. Go watch my film on Hulu. Go watch my film on Amazon Prime. This is what our film's about. But here's the other thing. You don't just advertise in that manner. That is a portion of it. I think what it is communicating. It's advertising, marketing, and public relations. They're not the same thing. You have to bring in public relations is about connecting with your community, bringing awareness, right? Every company has it. Well, okay, larger companies have it. I can't say every company has it, but I know most large corporations have public relations. But that's not their marketing team. That has nothing to do with marketing. What it does is build awareness that this company exists. This is why we talk about branding and existence. And so when you are independent, as an independent, this is why that relationship building, that network is important. Because here's the crazy thing. If you get 10 independent filmmakers in a room who have 10 independent productions that they've done, and they're all different qualities and different styles, and they start telling each other about all these places each other can go and the support they can give. But I remember I said this on the show when we first started it. I said, one of y'all rent out a movie theater, you show your feature, and you show everybody's trailer at the beginning. So if everybody sees the trailer for all these other people who help you pay for the movie theater, by the way, because they're like, hey, I'm going to give you money to put my trailer in front, because they want to make sure you got, then when they show their movie at a movie theater or even sell DVDs, the trailer's on it. When you go to Apple, I want you to go to Apple. Go look at movies. Go to Apple and Amazon. Go to Amazon Prime. Look at a movie. Click on it. Look at its trailer. And slide down. You'll see all these movies that are similar to that film, or made by the same director, or have the similar actors.
Or you may like genre-wise,
Exactly. You go to Apple, there's a button you click on, related.
Yes.
Related breaks it down to actor, director, producer, every aspect and films that are related by style and theme. They're selling other people's stuff that still connects to what you're watching, because you are a specific audience, and they figure you're one of these. You're going to like the actors, you're going to like the director, you're going to like the style of film. And you might like multiple of those things. So you might watch all of those films, or at least 3 or 4 of them.
And the crazy part is that there's connecting movies of actors that are in an Apple either original network or their movie. They'll have like other different variants of films that they've been in that is streaming on Apple, or that it's available on Apple. So it's still kept in the house, or it allows you to, like, if it's not there, you can go here. But whatever, there is still the related aspect of it, where you can find that other movie that this person has done. And that's been for me, it was helpful, because it's like, where have I seen this guy before? Exactly. And you look down there, he's like, oh, that's right, he was in that Nickelodeon joint. So there you go. So, and
it's crazy, because I see actors like, wait, they were in that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I've seen that a long time ago, and I've totally just passed me. But look how far they come. That's why it's so important. Independent people, you have a freedom. By the way, here's a food for thought for next. We're not coming back next week. Come back the week after. We're going to take a break on Labor Day. We're going to take a break Labor Day. We're going to not
Labor Day.
Labor Day weekend. So here's the thing. I'm going to leave you with this. Okay. I lost it. I had it and I lost it. It was right there.
Brother, come on. You got it.
No, man. This guy's a fool, y'all. He's a fool. All right, so because we're about to close out, but I just want to leave you with thinking about your project. As an independent filmmaker, think about this. Do you need 1 million people to view your project? Or is that something that the industry needs because they need to make up more money than you? Because I get a lot of people who are trying to start out, and they're even when I was younger, I was like, yeah, I need 1 million people to watch my film. And then the reality was, nah, I just need 20,000 people to watch this, and I'll do more than break even. And I can make the next film. And I started, and once I understood that, my whole perspective changed. I don't need 1 million, 2, 3 million. It's like a song. An artist, people like, well, he only sold 200,000 copies. Yeah, he didn't go gold. 500,000 is gold, right? But if an independent artist sold 200,000 copies, let me tell you.
But he sold $200,000 copies. He sold it.
Look, if he just sells 20,000 copies at $10, that's $200,000.
There you go.
And subtract the expenses and stuff.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if it only took him $2,000 to make it, trust what I'm saying. Don't get caught up. Yeah.
The Blumhouse philosophy does work.
Yeah. Don't get caught up in big numbers.
Right.
You're small, start small, build. You build, and that's why we're saying that networking, letting your audience know you exist, that builds your numbers, get your fan base. Tyler Perry, I'll use him, has a built-in fan base from when he started his plays to his movies. And most of them have stuck with him. And that is how he became a billionaire and has built a studio, has been viable. The numbers you're worrying about, the numbers you're trying to worry about aren't your numbers because you're not big industry. You're not Sony. You're not Disney. You're not spending 100 mil on a film and you got to make back 500 to $1 billion, 500 million to $1 billion.
Right.
That's not your problem because you don't have all these people to pay. That's the other thing. Their economics, their accounting is a lot different than yours because they have two more hands in the pot at various parts. Okay. And they're going to spend a lot more money to advertise and promote to get more people watching, and they have a bigger world audience. But the thing is, if you can get 1,000 people in your city, just say you make a movie for 10 grand, you get 1,000 people in your city to watch it. That's your 10 grand. You go to New York, you get another 1,000 people. You go to Chicago, you get another 1,000 people. You go to Atlanta, you get another 1,000 people. Now you're doing more than breaking even. Now you do have the traveling expenses.
Now you're getting what's called gravy.
That's so your worries are a lot different. And so then so you get some friends to invest with you. Like, hey, you get 10 friends that put in 1,000 apiece. Then those 10 friends say, I want to re-up. What's the next project? I'll put 2,000 in because they already made some money back. You see? Or they keep their, so it's how you break your percentages. It's your royalties. It's your points. When you understand the business aspect, you can make and structure better business deals and advertising, promoting your stuff. When you don't have a strategic plan and you don't understand the business side of it, we're going to make the mistakes. And that's for any business. That's not even film. That's whatever business you go in, you need to know your business. Be in a business and knowing the business. That's where middlemen come from. That's how them people make money. That's how Warner Brothers took from Prince. They're in a business of making business while Prince is making albums, making music. When he learned the business, he said, I'm a slave to the industry. Let me get up out of here.
Right. Or my get on down. Yeah, get on down.
So we love you guys. Hey, Lewis, that was my 60-second gem. I'm going to leave that there. You got a 60-second gem, my brother.
I have less than 60 seconds. Yes.
Go ahead.
But it is a good gem, and it is for everyone. And I thank you all for letting,
thank you,
Michael,
back,
again,
brother. Thank you,
for this wonderful opportunity to come on back here. It's been a long time, but I'm going to leave you guys with this.
A long time.
This is going to be serious. Create. I'm going to say it again. Create as if your soul, not just your heart and your mind, create as if your soul needs it. Let me look at you guys. Everyone out there. You, Brandon. Yeah, you. All you guys. create as if your soul needs it. If you don't feed your creativity, the part of you will start to decay, deteriorate, and then you'll become normal. And I don't know anybody out there that loves being normal. So create as if your soul needs it. That's all I got.
There you go. Hey, I'm gonna throw something up. Boom, Brandon. I wanted to throw that up because that is just powerful right there.
Filmmakers sending filmmakers sending film crowdfunding campaigns pages to other filmmakers is a wrong approach, in my opinion. Send to people outside of filmmakers. Put it in groups outside of films. A used car dealer that loves films and can afford to drop some money where he can write off in tax time. Other filmmakers usually can't. Find those dentists, restaurant owners, etc., that can afford to invest in your creativity. That's what a lot of folks out there do. And as a matter of fact, it's like, if they got a product, they'll say, yeah, man, I'll put in, $2,000, $5,000, just, put in my recipe sauce, or just let me, like, I had a friend of mine, it's a business associate when I was doing my sketch comedy series. He was like, hey bro, what if I send you some hoodies or some shirts? Can you buy? I said, yeah, I'll wear it on the, so I just wore the t-shirt on an episode, and his, 500 people that watched this. No, I'm just joking. But whoever who is that saw the, the sketch series, they saw his, but it's a free of exchange. I didn't ask for any money. He didn't ask for any money back. He was like, yo, just wear my stuff and keep the product. And I was like, word, I'll keep it. It was a dope shirt.
Free clothes, wear for you.
Give you free clothing. Right.
Yeah,
so
sure.
it's cool when you have something like that, but share, even push out, go out to other places, ask people, but make it so that way it's people that love what you love as well, that necessarily, and I agree with Brandon, not necessarily within the film community, because we already know how it is when it comes to asking for another filmmaker, unless you're like, Eddie Murphy or whatever. You got, hey man, go ahead, take that.
I'm gonna simplify it. 2 Girl Scouts don't try to sell each other cookies.
I have never seen that. That's a good title. 2 girls never sell each other Girl Scout cookies. Absolutely. Or their mothers, for that matter.
I'm just letting you know right there. Boom. Story over.
What's crazy? That funny part is that would you ever, that would be a great action series. A mother trying to sell the other mother Girl Scout cookies. She's like, yes, but wouldn't you like peanut butter? No, but I would have liked Thin Mints. I'm sorry, that was so.
Oh, Brandon said, awesome show, Black Filmmakers Lounge fam. Good seeing you back, Lewis, and always good hearing you drop meaningful knowledge weekly, Michael. Oh, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. I'm humbled, man.
So excited! So excited!
You, man. All right,
thank you, guys.
We about out, so we're gonna drop it like this. Hey, thank you for joining us at the Black Filmmakers Lounge. I'm your host, Michael Melvin, my co-host, Louis Duvall, and our other co-host, Myra TK Henderson, could not appear because she's on set for the next 2 weeks, and Jamal's working and grinding, doing his thing, so make sure you make this stuff happen. Remember this, if you don't know about the Black Filmmakers Lounge, it's a place where independent filmmakers, whether they're novelists or professionals, come together to gain insight and perspective through education, information, networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black independent film community. So remember this. Remember that we say the Black Filmmakers Lounge, creating our own space to succeed together. So, and I got to drop this because this is my thing. As Lewis has got to say his thing, but I'm going to say this. Be strategic, intentional, and authentic, and stay focused.
And as always,
Lewis?
And as always,
what you going to tell them?
Like, subscribe, and share, baby. Like, subscribe, and share. Come on now. Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and share. Yeah. Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and share.
We love y'all. Baby. Enjoy y'all.
God, you want to do it. You want to do it. You want to do it. Hey, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. You want to do it. You better like.
Remember, we're not coming back next Saturday. We'll be back the Saturday after to enjoy you guys. We love y'all.
Like, subscribe, share.